I'm beginning to think this car's got some kind of curse on it. The tuner's going to be here shortly. I fired up and the alternator just squalling like crazy. Yep, it's whooped. Oh, and the parts store in town has one for $209, so I went out back and swiped one off that other truck. I'm kind of broke, you know. There now, isn't that better? Maybe I can put new bearings in that and it'd be alright. It was still charging. Alright, the 57's out. This is in. It's time to get after this thing. The boy's gonna be driving on his own pretty soon. I'm not gonna be able to do anything with it tonight, but we may as well have a look, hadn't we? I ain't sure if the rack was leaking or it's just from pulling the engine. Pretty sure the sway bar is in the way of the oil pan. Not sure how we will tackle that. I saw one guy on YouTube, he just took it out but didn't say what he did in place of it. So we'll have to consider that. Look at that funny looking drive shaft. It's got the original exhaust in it. The cats might be worth something, huh? We shall see. Look at that. Rubber connector. There's plenty to study here, ain't it? I wonder how sturdy that differential is. I ain't sure how we're going to do the exhaust. I don't know that's going to get duals. Look at that. That's funny, ain't it? We might just get one 3-inch pipe all the way to the back. We'll see. Ooh. Needs a tire pretty bad, don't it? Broken belt. Well, we'll have to consider this thing more at a later time. But it is a pretty nice car. 528i. If any of y'all got some insight, lay it on me. It's gonna need tires pretty quick. For sure. Alright, it's Sunday. And it's cold and rainy. There's a big box of parts. That's for another project I've managed to get myself into. It's not mine, but you know, sometimes you just got to be the hot rod evangelist. The little man, well, I shouldn't have called him that. The big guy's coming out. You know, as soon as he gets around, he's got to get all prettied up and all. By the way, ladies, he's single, and you know, he's on the prowl. Not really on the prowl. That's not the right thing to say. He's just single. Okay. And I need to clean off my workbench, as usual. Down here, I got some tools that I got out of the woods. I hired this kid a while ago to put up a fence, and he worked hard at it, and then he didn't show up no more. I think he maybe went to jail. I ain't sure, but I might as well get his tools working. He left his tools laying out there. Well, there's no use stalling. Let me get this workbench cleaned off. Alright, folks, you won't believe it, but here's the young man. He finally got his hair fixed and everything and was able to come out. And he's going to start disassembling the exhaust. He's going to take the drive shaft out. I think we got to lose some of these tin shields up in here once we do that. And we got to remove the sway bar. And then once he does all that, we got to, I think we're going to pull this front clip off and the radiator support and all to make it easier to put the new engine in. Once we get all that done, this is our rough game plan. We're going to push the car outside again, and then we're going to go out back, which probably won't happen today. And we're going to bring in the 2014 Caprice with I think it had like 100,000 miles on it maybe. With a 6-liter and a 6L80E. And then we're going to see how to put it in this car. And I see we got a bird took up residence here in the shop. And then maybe next year, it got Milky One's. It's going out under the door. Next year, it got Milky One's Easter Drag Race Invitational. The young man here might be able to spank a car or two.
Yeah, maybe one or two.
In fact, maybe we ought to make sure that happens. Because, you know, just because. I don't want to say there's a rivalry or anything, but you know, none of my stuff's got blowers or turbos or nitrous on it. But we could change that with this one. But we also got to remember that boy's 17, right? 17?
16.
Oh, yeah. Almost 17. And we don't want him getting too squirrely. Yeah. Also remember, ladies, he's single. All right, we've removed the exhaust. He's removed the exhaust. I suspect the converters might be worth a couple bucks. So he's going to try to do that. So far, you're $100 in on this car, right?
So far, yeah.
So if he sells them converters for whatever they go for, he might be at a profit on this car.
Might be.
And I'm not going to make him pay for the engine and transmission. If he's a good boy, that is. And so, look at that daggone bird again. Huh. What do you think about that?
Well, you got birds.
For Pete's sake. Anyways, this one's gonna be a one-tire fire. Should we fix that?
Probably, yeah.
Might not be a profit no more. I think the bird has built a nest in here. I think it's right up there in my Harley parts. Would you look at that? There's two birds. I'll be doggone. All right. I'm taking this alternator apart. Funny thing is, like, I've had this big old soldering iron. I don't think I've ever used it, but I figured that would heat up and melt that no problem. But it only worked on one. I got out this little guy, the Weller, no problem. I don't understand. That bearing feels perfect. Okay, here's what the daggone trouble was with this alternator.
What's that?
That bearing feels fine. That bearing feels fine. But as we look in here, we spy a broken brush. And as we look in here, we see where the brush is broken. So that was causing it to make a god-awful racket. We really should put a new set of brushes in it. But it'll probably be... Yeah, we should put a new set of brushes in it. But it was still charging. I'm going to put it together because I'm just going to put it on that old truck out there that's got the other 6-liter motor in it. So I can drive it around. So I'm just going to put it back together.
All right.
Is that okay with you?
Works with me.
Do you think it's a good idea?
Probably.
Okay. Good. That's what I'm going to do then. It causes me great pain to admit this, but I think I was wrong. Once I put this thing back together, or at least put it in the bearing, look. It don't feel smooth once it's got a little weight on it. So I'm going to take it apart again. Right, bud?
Right.
Well, that went together nicely. Too bad I put my shirt in there. All right, he's making headway. He's got the exhaust off, took the drive shaft out. Look at the wacky way this thing hooks up. 3 bolts on the front. 6 in the back. We're going to have to study on how we're going to... I watched a video where one guy made an adapter plate with his machine shop buddy. I ain't got no machine shop buddy, but... Really? In fact, I ain't got too many buddies. But I do have a lathe, so maybe I can cipher something out that way. Oh, and it only squeaks a little bit on account of that plastic fan. It's touching right there, but it's good enough for what I need. I just need to fire this truck up and move it around. And when we get ready to do something later, we'll do the appropriate thing, which is probably buy a rebuilt alternator. I think that engine is going to go in that short bed 4-wheel drive, which the young man took a ride in the other day. What'd you think about that?
It's pretty all-terrain.
You were surprised where it would go, weren't you?
Yes, very.
And I didn't even scratch the surface. So I gotta confess, I got plenty of vehicles, but I'm on the hunt for a beater 4x4 square body that we can hammer down on. Now that I got a little bit of land, you might like that, huh?
Yeah.
All right. I'll show you what me and Uncle Tim used to do back in the day. All right, go for it, handsome Jack. All right. Success. Feels good, don't it?
Yeah.
You know you're getting a little grease in them wavy locks. All right, set her down, man. We had to turn off Sweet Home Alabama so we could turn on the camera. That's good enough for now. Let's raise the hood. See that crease? That's from when a Vega motor got installed and the hood got shut. Alright, the boy is making headway. He's done removed the headlights, the bumper cover, and he's fixing to remove the radiator support. Do you know how to do that?
No idea.
I'm fitting to tell you. Alright, first thing you gotta do is figure out how to get that out of the way. Take that bolt off. Take this air duct majigger off of there. And then let me show you on this side. There's an 8mm. You gotta take off that bolt, or that nut, and that nut, I mean. That's 8mm, and this is 13. Take off those, and that's the bumper mount, and it slides out. Okay. Same thing on that side. And we gotta figure out how to get this cover off here, but we can figure that out probably. Looks like you take the little brackets out right there and it comes out. Take that cover off, and then you take out that bolt. And those bolts, just one bolt, And then I think it slides off then.
Sounds easy.
And I know so much about it because I've just been educated on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's kind of funny in my bonehead mind. Maybe it's because the young man here gave me some, what's that stuff called? Shilajit?
Oh yeah, Shilajit.
He says it makes you smarter. So this, I think I'm feeling a lot smarter now. These cars, these newer cars, although as soon as I say that, I realize it's 25 years old.
It is.
They come apart so easy. You take apart a 70s or some, or that Trans Am I got, that 89 Trans Am, everything is a freaking nightmare. Anyway, I digress. That's a smart guy word, right?
It is, yeah.
This stuff's working, man. Now what the young man is fitting to do is remove the lines going to the power steering cooler. Because we're fitting to pull the condenser and power steering cooler apparatus out. Because we've had a condition here where the little stud is slipping and can't get the fan out. But that's just the way it goes. It was 75% easy, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting kind of excited about this thing.
Me too.
Really?
Yeah.
Alright, well, once we get this all tore apart, we're going to have to drag the other car around. You know, I stole an injector out of it maybe a year ago now. I have a new injector. I'm thinking what we should do is fire the engine up in that car before we pull it. Just to get the juices flowing.
Yeah.
So that means we might just go ahead and pull all the injectors and put them in my injector cleaner. Because it's been setting. And then fire it up. And once we hear it run, we'll pull it. All right, quit talking, more working, right?
Right.
You know, he's slow getting here, but when he gets here, he needs me to hurry up. What happened?
I need a bigger socket.
What size did you have to get?
Same size, just deeper.
Oh. What? You gonna get it all by yourself? Gentle. Gentle. Bang!
Don't work on me no more.
It's a sad thing when your old jokes don't work no more.
Just gotta make new ones.
Okay. Alright, well that ought to make it nice and easy for fitting a new LS motor in there.
Yeah.
The only thing we got to do, well, I guess that's done. We got to get that out of the way. We're not going to be using that, I don't think. Alright, I think that concludes what can be done to this for the time being. Now what we need to do, and what we would do if it wasn't raining, is set it down and push it outdoors, but it's raining. It's also unfortunate because my work truck's sitting down in the woods with a trailer hooked to the back of it.
Mm-hmm. Right in the spot where it always gets stuck.
What you talking about? That truck never gets stuck. Well, it has.
It has, yeah.
All right, the young man agreed to help me get the truck out of the woods. I'm not going to video that because it probably won't be that interesting. You want to ring the bell like you used to?
Sure.
You going to need to get a stool or anything?
Nah, I think I've got it covered.
Look at him putting tools back.
All right.
Thank you all for watching.